students, what's going on? I'm back for another week, another project. This week, we're going to make coil pots. What's a coil pot, you might ask yourself, or me out loud while you're sitting by yourself? Great question. Coil pots are pots made out of coils. I know. It's about as deep as we get here in ceramics class, so don't make it harder than it is, I guess. So this is what we're going to do. There's about 250,000 different ways to make this, so I'm going to show you like 3 ways, okay? That seems fair. And in school, we use an armature, just like we did for our masks. We use these bowls, which I could leave for you. If you want one of these, I could leave for you during Wednesday pickup. Also, you could use a bowl from your house or something from your house that has a shape that you like. What we're going to do first is cover whatever it is that you chose in saran wrap. So again, hopefully you have this at your house. If you don't, you could use paper towel, probably tinfoil would work. Something that creates a barrier between your clay and the piece, and the biggest reason is because your clay will stick to the piece and not only get it messy, but you won't be able to get it off. So this is here as a barrier, so if we need to, we can pull it off with the saran wrap, okay? So you just cover up, I'm gonna work on this side of my armature, so you cover up everything that the clay will touch, okay? I recommend using the outside of the bowls. I think it's easier. Now, also, I don't ever start with a coil on the base of my pot because we used to do that and we had a lot of cracking happen that nobody liked. So, I mean, why would you, right? So we have changed this to make a slab for the base of your piece. And slabs, just like last week when we rolled out a slab for our ceramics mask, or a clay mask, you're gonna do the same thing. So however you did that last week, like I feel like we just pinched it and pushed it on the table because you don't have a beautiful rolling pin, or I'm assuming, maybe you do. Maybe you bought yourself a special ceramics rolling pin. Good for you. You deserve it. So we're just pushing something out, and then you need to find something that's a circle that you can trace with your needle tool. So again, get creative. Look around your house. I see there's a roll of masking tape over there that I could use. They're also conveniently located right next to me as a lid. So I can use this, okay? I'm just gonna place this nicely on top of my clay, take my needle tool, just like before, you're gonna stick your needle tool all the way through so it's scraping the ground or the table surface underneath, and then you're just gonna trace around that circular object, okay? This I will use for coils, and this becomes the base of my piece. So I'm just going to set it on top, just like this. And that's gonna be the start of my piece. Then I'm going to write my initials in here so that I know that it's mine and that my teacher knows that it's mine and no one can question if it's mine or not, okay? So make sure you do your initials. Then, and this is all wedged clay. I've already wedged all of this out. So then we're gonna learn how to make coils, which quite frankly is the exact same way that you used to make like worms out of Play-Doh when you were a kid. I'm assuming you all got to experience Play-Doh. Maybe that's not a fair assumption, but I hope so, because Play-Doh was great, right? So all you're gonna do is take a wad of clay. It doesn't really matter what size because you can trim off if it gets too long. And I always start by just rubbing it gently in between my hands. Now here's the trick. If you are like me and a little too aggressive, right? It's just my muscles are so big and sometimes I just need to squeeze things too much. You need to be gentle. That's kind of the trick with this, is a gentle touch. So once you have it rolled out in your hands, right, I'm just rolling it back and forth, you're gonna rest it on your tray. Whoops, should I be working on my tray? My tray's right here. Pretend my tray's here. Use your imagination, it's good creative practice, okay? Then what you're gonna do is, like really, we're just using the weight of your hands, okay? I'm not like forcing the clay down, I'm just rocking it back and forth. I'm starting in the middle and I'm gently rolling out. You can do it with one hand and kind of go back and forth each way. What might happen is if you get too aggressive with this, if you're pushing a bit too hard, is it becomes, I use the example more like a tapeworm, and less like an earthworm. Like you want it to be nice and round, right? Like a coil. So if you get too strong, here I'll show you. And you roll a little too hard or go a little too fast, what might happen is it starts to flop like that and it starts to get a little flat. So, I don't know how well you can see this. Like instead of a round worm, it's now a little flat. So if this happens to you, you can set it up, you know, so the longer part is up instead of across, right? And kind of, I know, did you guys realize how many times I said smush in the last video? Too many times. You kind of press it down, there's a better word, firmly, and you should be able to get it back to that round shape, okay? Same as before, if you start to get cracks in here, just smooth them out with slip. If you get creases, sometimes we get creases, the clay kind of folds on itself. Here's a great example of one. Same thing, just erase it, right? Make it go away. So it all looks nice. Then, you really can make the coils as thick or thin as you want to. So visually, it's whatever you're going to enjoy the most. Thinner coils will take more coils to complete, which is fine, but just so you know. And the big trick then is that regardless of what thickness your coils are, they need to be the same thickness throughout your piece, okay? So whatever you start with for coil number 1 has to be the same throughout. So once you can measure and you see that this will indeed fit the whole way around, have a little bit of overlap, so I'm just going to trim off the extra with my clay tool, or my needle tool, sorry, and then I'm going to score and slip. So I'm going to score the entire length of this coil, and then I'm going to score all the way around my base. And again, like all my demos, I'm working a little too quickly. You will do this, I mean, I would assume this will take you a little bit more time and it's gonna look way nicer than mine is too then. Okay, a little bit of slip. Also, I didn't explain the whole Velcro concept fully last time, so somebody asked me a very great question, how come this doesn't make air bubbles, right? We're so concerned about air bubbles. Well, if you push the clay together, that will, like, you know, those little score marks you made will connect to each other, and that's what makes it like Velcro, is that they'll like grip onto each other. And we're only doing one coil at a time. I want to show you the end. Can you see this? So when you get to the end, you can just score those two and then just smooth it out so it looks like one coil, okay? And like I said in the last video too, you have to make sure that you like push it on here and you're not just resting it next to them. So we talked a little bit about how clay shrinks when it dries. If you're making a coil pot and you don't score and slip properly, as the clay shrinks, it will pull apart from the other coil, and then you'll have these pieces of your bowl instead of a whole bowl, okay? So that's all you gotta know about that. Okay, whew, I've never worked so fast in my life. So here's what, you know, a coil bowl would look like. There's other things you can do too. You can see this coil over here to my side. I brought this in because sometimes, you know, I'm gonna show you a bunch of examples of like fancier shapes. And obviously if your container isn't the fancy shape, you can't use it all the way as an armature, so you could start it like an armature, like I have here. And once you get to the point where like maybe I want mine to go in a little bit now, I can't right on top of here because then I won't be able to get it out of there. So I'll just pull this out. Oh, I thought it was just gonna work so slick. Okay, here we go. And this too, like if you can't get your piece out, you can pull the saran wrap off, and that'll help too. So set your container aside, and then I have some conveniently located coils over here. Maybe I want it to get thinner, right? Like I want it to get skinny. here and move in a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is make my coils a little bit smaller. And you would score and slip these, but I'm not going to because you just saw me do that a million times with the bowl, right? But you would score and slip them like where they attach to each other. So obviously they're attaching a little more on the inside. And you could just keep doing that, is get, you know, smaller and smaller coils to make your piece go in. And you could do the same thing by making them, you know, bigger and bigger, and your piece would go out. Okay, and this should support itself okay. If you find that it starts caving in, you could take like a big wad of paper towel and put that in the middle, and that might, or like a sponge of some sort. Okay, but do you get the gist? Like, see how I have this nice shape coming in now, and you could, you know, keep going and make it smaller too. So please don't be afraid to try to make something extra cool, even if you don't have an armature that'll make it look exactly that same way. Oh, also I was gonna use those coils for something else too. Another thing I wanted to show you, which again you'll see examples of on the slide, is that you can make these coils go different ways too. So if this is too plain for you, you could, you know, decide to have some negative space in your coils. Right? You can make them any way you can manipulate them. You can do it. With this, you just have to make sure that, you know, like your next piece, or they're even, so when your next piece goes on top, right, they're all about the same size. You could bring them closer together. You could write your name, like you could use letters somehow this way. You could make an actual coil. And probably you would either want to score and slip this, or if it's really fresh, you probably could get away with this if you make sure that you're like pushing it together. But you could do a bunch of coils that go around your piece like that. You can get quite creative. It doesn't even have to be like a pattern. I mean, they could just be manipulated every which way, right? I mean, you could do anything that you felt like it, because it's clay. It can do anything. I don't know if that's true, but it sure seems like it, doesn't it? So that's not it. You might have thought that was it, and so did I, but I have one more thing to show you. So all of these will look great if you've done a good job being patient and making the same size coils, right? And then your piece will look pretty nice, visually even, which is good. So if you're happy with this, if you're happy with this bowl, let's say, like you could be done. I would leave it on the bowl overnight until it stiffens up a little bit, so when you take it off, it doesn't flop over and fall apart, okay? And the same thing, like if I grab the bowl and the saran wrap, it should pull out of there. So you'll see the inside too. So if you're happy with this, great. Be happy with it and be done. Make sure your initials are on the bottom. If you're like, oh no, my coils are all sorts of different sizes and they're very uneven and I don't like it and I would never use this bowl, let's fix it, because I want you to want to use these things. So what you can do then, and what we would do in class, because we would make Mimbres coil pots, so we followed like how the Mimbres culture made their pots specifically, and when they were done, they actually smoothed out the coils, which we can do too. So what you can do then, if you don't like the coils, again, if you like the coils, keep them. It's less work to just make them nice the first time, right? You can smooth them out just with your hand with some slip on it. We use rubber rib tools in class, but I didn't give you one of those. You could use your sponge also, and all you're doing is smoothing it out so you don't see those lines anymore. We work from the rim of your bowl to the base, and that's because if we work the other way, we would be pulling the rim too much and your piece would become uneven. Okay, so you always work from the rim to the base, and you can see just in that little amount of time how much I have smoothed it and gotten rid of the uneven coils is why you would be doing this, okay? So if you're doing this and you're like, okay, this is great, except for like, I can't fill that one crack in, what do I do? Get a little tiny piece of clay and just smush it. because that's the word I like to use apparently. Smush it right in there, okay? And fill in any like dents that you couldn't get rid of, any divots in your clay, okay? And then you'll just have a smooth round bowl instead of a coil bowl. Then you will have to let it dry a little bit, not all the way, okay? You want it to dry a little bit so when you flip it over, it holds its shape. Right now, mine does not do that. It's very wonky. So I would want to let it dry a little bit more. And then you can even use the same bowl that you're working on, put the saran wrap on the inside of it. If your bowl is stiff enough, you can do it without, keeping this armature. And then you can put your bowl inside after you've smoothed the entire outside, and then you can do the same thing where you work from the rim to the base of your piece and smooth it all out. You can also decide like, oh, the coils on the outside look great, I'm just going to smooth the inside, or vice versa. Like you can smooth just a certain area of it. All of that is just fine with me as long as you're using coils to create your piece. Okay? And like so, it starts to be smooth. Also, if you do this and if you have just kept your coils, you probably, you can manipulate your rim a little bit by pushing it in certain areas. If you wanted to make your rim perfectly flat because you've smoothed out your piece, you actually can use the rim of your bowl and your needle tool. And I mean, this is a little too much because I'm going to get rid of like 2 whole coils that I made, which is not cool. But if it was a little lesser for you, you can take that off and then you'll have a rim that's perfectly smooth. Whoops. Like so. It's a floppy bowl. Okay, but then your rim is nice and smooth. So that's why you want to make sure your piece is a little stiffer than that before you take it out of the bowl. So I hope that all makes sense and it wasn't too much for you. Oh, it's a 25-minute video. Did you stay till the end? Whew. Maybe we'll watch it in sections. Okay, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you later in class. Bye.